Hi guys, welcome back. Today I wanted to show you the 7 elements of art. They are line, color, shape, form, value, space, and texture. And I wanted to talk about line today. There's all kinds of line. There are, zigzag line, wavy line, curved, contour lines. Line is just a series of moving dots. All right, you can have long lines, short lines, thin lines, thick lines, expressive, zigzag. What else? Can do some hatching, cross hatching, vertical, horizontal. Lines can be expressive. So throughout the year, we'll do some different expressive lines, and actually with soft pastels, we're going to do some expressive lines also. All right, so those are all about lines. It's pretty simple. And again, if you want to write them down and learn them, they're line, color, shape, form, value, space, and texture. Those are the elements of art. There's also principles of design that we'll talk about later. So today you're going to need your Stabilo pencil, a sheet of pastel paper, and I thought it'd be fun. This summer I had painted some dragon eyes on some rocks, and I thought it would be fun to paint an oil pastel painting of it, all right? So when you look at eyes, we have different shapes of eyes. There's they're kind of shaped like an almond or a lemon, just that kind of shape. And you can do, have fun. Make the eye your shape. If you want it to go up or down, have there's just you can be very expressive with that line to kind of show how your dragon is looking, or how even the emotion. All right. So I'm just going to draw a couple different shapes here. And then also with the pupil of the eye, there's several different shapes. That one's the hourglass. You can do a kind of a V, like an upside down triangle. Then this is the eye, see, and we're going to do some different scales, some small scales, and then some larger scales around the outside. Okay, and when you draw your pupil, make sure that you put the little shine spot and leave that white. So it could be like a reflective spot, or it's called a shine. So leave that, because then it'll be easier to just color in white, all right? And you can make those different shapes. Usually I put 2 or 3 different spots on. Okay, and then some other shapes that we're going to do, make it your own, but another shape that you can make is like a raindrop shape for an eye. And then it's nice to put a second line around. Okay, so that's like, if you look at your eyeball, you'll see you have the outside shape of your eye, and then there's a thinner line where sometimes it's right before where the eyelashes come out, okay? So just to kind of outline your eye. So there's also, you can make a diamond pupil. And maybe even a more expressive eye, you could have kind of curve it up and curve it on the bottom. Really put a curve in there. It's kind of has a different type of look too. All right. And how about this one? We'll just do a curve, almost like a cat eye or a lizard eye. You can even make it thinner and make it like a little sliver of an iris. A pupil. Okay, now we're going to work on putting the scales on. There's different ways to draw scales. You can draw scales with, if you draw like a little curved triangle, and then the second line, so that it looks like the scale is coming out of that first scale, you draw it from not in the middle, but just a little bit in, and draw out a line and then curve that around. Okay. And just follow that same shape all the way around the eye. It looks kind of neat, and it's a pretty simple if you just start with kind of a triangle shape, all right? And if you want to do the other side the same, just do the opposite, all right? Do like a little It actually looks kind of like our candy corns. And just keep drawing all the way around the same shape. So like I was saying, you can make your shapes of scales however you want. Okay, it can be, they're a mythical creature, made up creature, so you just have fun and do whatever shape you want for the scales. This technique right here that I'm doing is real simple. It's just little boxes, little squares, and you can do that all the way around. You can make your first layer kind of small, and then the second layer, you can stagger the lines and make it a little bit bigger, and then even the third one, you could just keep doing that to all the way to the outer edge of your paper if you want to. Okay. Here, I'm just going to try like a wave. It's kind of fun. It looks almost like eyelashes, or kind of just something, different to do as a scale. And that I would just layer again, a couple layers, and maybe even a bigger one on top. All right. And you can change it up if you want to do something on the top. Do a different type on the bottom, or do all the same. It's up to you, okay? So I'm just going to quickly draw on some spaces here and kind of show you. So you could take the square and kind of point it, make a little point, like a little arrow. And then the second layer, just, I messed up there, but second layer, just stagger it, okay? And then you can just kind of fix that, kind of make it work. It doesn't have to be perfect, just lay them in. Keep in mind, all these we're going to be using oil pastels in and blending. So depending on how much you want to do, you can make them, smaller or bigger. All right, and then here's another idea. You can just do the first layer, I have a little more of a point on the top of that one. And then I'm going to do like a feather. It looks just like either like a flame or kind of a feather look. That's real simple to do too. You can practice all these first, and then we're going to draw our big dragon eye. All right. All right. So I also want to show you, I'm showing you here, like if you want to just make really big ones, the second or third layer, just fill in the page with the big ones, and that'll look cool too. All right. Another fun thing to do with dragons is to give them a little thorn or a little spike. And those are just drawn with like an arrow or like a triangle. But then when you wrap it around with that bottom line and fill in that little space, it literally looks like it's coming out of the paper there, okay? Coming out of the dragon skin. And then just fill in the background with a straight or bumpy line to continue the scales. Right, just like this. And then if you want to do it on the bottom, you can. It looks kind of like a little eyelash. And again, you just draw the little teardrop shape, and then if you put the line down, and then put a little line, wrap it around, fill that little space in, and it looks like it's coming out, okay? That's kind of a fun technique to try. All right. Okay, so grab a pastel paper. I'm going to use the Stabilo pencil so that you can see, but you guys do it probably with graphite, just like a regular pencil, because this Stabilo pencil, it'll smear when you do all the writing, all right? So I'm just going to draw my shape. I'm going to make it really big, fill up almost the whole page with just the eyeball. And I'm doing kind of like a lemon shape. I'm going to put in my second line. And then my pupil, I'm going to just do a kind of a V. All right, and then we're going to put our shine in, a circle, and then a little shape there, which I'm going to make white later. And then for my scales, I'm going to draw in my line where I want my scales to go. So I'm going to do one that's kind of outside of the eye there, and then I'm going to do one more line where I'm going to make my scales way large. Okay, let's see. And again, I would like, it's kind of fun if you'll take it all the way off of the paper, and then it looks like an extreme, enlarged or zoomed in to the dragon eye. Okay, it's kind of fun. So this second row, I'm actually going to use 3 lines to make this type of scale. So you draw your 3 lines, and then you just make a kind of a V. You draw your line to the middle one. I messed up, but that's okay. You draw it to the middle line, and then see, it starts to look like a scale. Okay, and you'll see later how we're going to shade that. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing around the other side later. So this top line, I'm going to just make some curved little boxes, just to make a scale, a real simple scale there. I'm going to go a little bit smaller, go into the corner of the eye, make it bigger, and then try to make it a little bit smaller while I'm getting to the other side of the eyeball, right? And just carry on the bottom also. All right, and then I'm going to turn the page and finish these scales so that they match the top part. Right, keep in mind that this project is our last oil pastel project, and it's a fairly large project, so it's going to take quite a little while to finish, depending on how much detail you want or how much blending you want to do. So if you draw your scales pretty large, that's kind of nice, because then it's a lot less tedious blending. All right, so I'm going to start with, I'm going to show you kind of the technique that I'm going to use, the same one where we're going to do the light on top and then a medium blue. I'm just going to kind of sketch it in, then a darker blue on the bottom. Okay, kind of blend that together. Then for the top part, it's going to be a ridge. It's wherever the light hits, it's going to be reflected, so that's going to be the lightest part. And when you want it to look like it's curving into the skin, so that's where you want the darker parts, where it's going to meet the skin. Okay, so whatever part curves in, that's going to have a shadow, that's going to be darker, and then whatever's closer to the light, which is going to hit the light, that's going to be the lighter, and it's going to give it that 3D look, where just by using values and shading, you can make it look like it has a ridge on top. So I'm just taking my oil pastels and doing some blending, right? And then back and forth, the lighter, the darker, and then use the white to blend the top part to make it look real nice and highlight it. Okay, and so I'm going to do the blue all the way around the eye. I'm going to do all the way the top and the bottom. I'm going to do the light, the medium, the dark, light, medium, dark, all the way around, and do some blending. Okay, and then on the inside, I think I'm going to do yellow and red, and then I'm going to color the iris black, do my shines with white, and the iris I'm going to do some greens. Okay, so make sure that you wipe off your pastel like I just did, and when you do your shine, and make it nice and white, fill that all the way in. And then I'm going to do the iris. I'm going to do some nice expressive lines with the yellow. If you look at everybody's eyes are different, but when I look at mine, I have some lines and I have some spots too, but I'm going to make lines for this dragon. So I'm pretty aggressively putting some yellow down to make some stripes. And then I'm going to put like a medium green and fill in some spaces. Okay, and then I'll use a darker green on the outside where it goes into the eye socket. I'm going to do several layers. This is my first layer. All right, I'm going to color this all in right here with the dark green. And again, I'm pressing pretty firmly, just laying down all the color. And then eventually I will be blending with the yellow and the medium green also. So see how I'm taking and I'm making all my marks the same when I'm going towards the pupil? I'm making my marks all go towards the center like that. Okay, and then it just kind of keeps it look, instead of drawing all just coloring it in, I'm not really just coloring it in, I'm trying to make a shape of the eyeball, and I'm also trying to give the lines of the iris. Okay. So you have the pupil, and then you have the iris, which has the color part. I'm going to make it all real pretty dark around the edges where it goes in, like I was saying, and then blend all those greens together. So of course you can choose whatever color you want for your eyeball. You can make it like yellows and reds and oranges, or some blues and purples, or a mixture. If you want gray and black. All right, and just do lots and lots of blending. And here I have that done. I filled in I pushed really hard to fill this iris in, okay? I mean, pupil, sorry. I had to push really hard for that, and then I used some paper towel too, okay? And then I chose to use a red to go on the outside and outline the eye with this red, and when it hits the green, it's kind of nice. It makes the kind of a purplish color, which is kind of nice. Okay, and that took I didn't want to video all of that. That took a long time to do some blending. I just used my pastels and a paper towel. And then on the outside, I made all the yellow, and then I went around and did the red. Okay. So you choose whatever color you like. But you can see here I did the yellow everywhere, and then I went around with the red, and then I'm blending with my yellow pastel. Okay, and just depending on how much blending you want it to do. If you want to have it kind of, I wanted all my edges to be blended in, so I went around and did all that. It took some time, but it's fun when you take some time and do a big project to have a nice piece left over there. All right, so after that, I had to go back in and clean it up a little bit, and then I'm going to do all the blues. Okay. And actually I even have a darker purple because I want it to be even darker where it goes towards the eyeball there. See how to just add in that little bit of purple made it even kind of a nicer depth. All right, so I'm going to go around. I'm going to put purple everywhere, and then go and do my blues. And when I get up to the yellow, the red line there, I'm kind of blending it in also. And on the other side too. So you can, if you want to define your scales, you can make a little dark line like I am. All right. Just blending. You know, and you don't have to do it all in one sitting. you want to do some coloring with your oil pastels, or painting we call it, or drawing with it, you can do a little each day or every, you don't have to do it in one sitting. So again, light, medium, and dark all the way around. At one point I did try to use some cotton swabs to do some blending. I didn't really like how they were performing, so I just ended up using my oil pastels and my paper towel. Okay. The blending tools that we have in your box we'll use next time with the chalk, which is real nice. It works really well with the soft pastels. So, all right, so I'm going to finish all that. I did that, and then at the end I changed my mind, and I thought I would add a little green to show you some yellow and green blending, and change it up a little bit. So there I did the yellow on the top, medium green, and dark green like I did in the iris. Okay, and using the white and yellow for the highlight on the very top. And this project, it took quite a while, so I didn't want to record the whole thing because I think it probably took me, well, almost an hour maybe. And then the corner here, I'm just filling in with dark blue just to kind of match the other corner. Okay. And when you're working at home, I forgot to mention that you should put something underneath here so you can get all the way to the edges. All right. So at the end, I'm adding a little bit of a green ridge there, and it's up to you, but see how I'm using the edge of the pastel? If you want kind of a sharp, you can use, where it's flat, you can use the edge there, or you can color on some paper and chisel the point a little bit. All right, and then you can have a nice little sharp edge to use. All right, and then if you'd like, I'm going to use this Stabilo pencil. It's almost like a charcoal pencil. I'm going to outline all of the scales. So I just take the pencil and I do kind of a scrubbing movement almost, where I'm really digging in there and getting into the pastel and kind of moving the oil pastel around so I can put that line down. I like this Stabilo pencil because it leaves a mark, it's sharp, and it doesn't, it's just nice and black. So that's why I chose that pencil for us to use. It's nice to do and to use in your art, to have it in your art supplies. All right, you don't have to do this, but I just feel like it really makes the color pop and gives it definition between each scale. So I do that around all the little scales and then all the big ones too. And I just do a little blending and go up each side of the scale and finish it that way. So that just takes a minute there, and I hope when you guys get done with your dragon eye, you can email me a picture of it, or you can post it on Facebook. We were having an issue for a second there, but hopefully it's working now, where if you join the group, you can post your picture. And so also, it's nice pastels are hard to get way up to the edges, like when I'm going around this shine spot on the eye. So you can use your Stabilo pencil to do that too. Okay, guys, that was it. See you next time.